addressing date and AIDS and war and gun violence and homelessness. But also, we were able to do that and make you laugh at the same time.
No one noticed this blooper in a different world, 1987, until now. From dorm rooms magically changing shape to characters repeating outfits months apart, the show had its fair share of goofs. But those weren't the only surprises.
But it was kind of nice.
Behind the laughter was a story of sudden exits, unresolved tension, and missed opportunities. Lisa Bonet vanished after one season. Maggie? Gone without a word. And Bill Cosby's quiet control over the show's image led to real-life clashes that changed everything.
Jealous.
So you think I can't keep my mask?
Not to save your life.
As Debbie Allen took the reins, a different world transformed, tackling HIV, date, apartheid, and more. But not without resistance behind the scenes. One of the biggest surprises in the show was when Denise Huxtable, played by Lisa Bonet, disappeared after the first season.
The first thing I did was really try to communicate to the writers that we needed to connect with the actors and vice versa, because that was the missing link.
Denise was one of the main stars, and many fans expected her story to grow. However, she was suddenly gone without a clear reason in the story. Behind the scenes, Lisa Bonet left the show because she had creative disagreements with the producers and later became pregnant. Her leaving so quickly left several parts of her character's story unfinished, making viewers wonder what happened to her. Another small mistake that fans noticed was about Freddie's full name.
But it was kind of nice.
In some episodes, she is called Winifred Brooks, while in other episodes, her name is said to be Winifred Morgan. This confused many people because the show never explained why her last name kept changing. It seemed like the writers forgot what they had used before, which made the character's background unclear. Dwayne Wayne's family also had a goof.
But if you ever tell me that you are not speaking to me for a week again, I will drop you like a bad habit.
In the earlier seasons, Dwayne talks about having several siblings. This gave fans the picture of him coming from a bigger family. But later in the show, Dwayne suddenly calls himself an only child. The writers never explained the change, which made viewers notice the mistake and wonder what happened to his brothers or sisters that were mentioned before. Whitley's background was another spot where the story did not stay the same.
Jealous.
So you think I can't keep my mouth shut?
Not to save your life.
At first, Whitley was shown as coming from Virginia, with a very southern and wealthy family. She acted like someone raised in a high-class home with old money. But later in the show, her family's wealth seemed to go up and down. In some episodes, they were shown as super rich, while in others, they seemed to struggle. This change in her family's story made her character feel less consistent. When watching some TV shows, you may notice small mistakes that the producers did not catch. One funny example is the changing dorm rooms. In some seasons, the layout of the dorms looks one way, and in other seasons it looks totally different. Sometimes, even in the same season, the rooms look like they were moved around. It makes you wonder how the characters never noticed they were living in a new room without moving their things. This happens because the set is often rebuilt for filming, and sometimes the crew forgets to keep it the same. Another mistake is with the clothes the characters wear. People like Dwayne Wayne or Whitley are seen wearing the same outfit in episodes that are supposed to be months apart. In real life, if weeks or months pass, people usually wear different clothes. But on the show, they sometimes repeat the same outfit, which makes the timeline look strange. This happens because the show is filmed out of order, and sometimes the wardrobe team forgets what the characters wore in earlier episodes. There are also times when you can see the camera crew by accident. In some early episodes, if a mirror or glass is in the scene, the reflection of the camera can be seen. This breaks the illusion of the story and reminds you it's just a show being filmed. Another common goof is the boom mic shadow. Sometimes its shadow falls on the wall or ceiling. It is easy to miss during filming, but clear when you watch closely. These small errors make watching the show even more fun. Some things in the show do not match up well, and one of them is Ron's school years.
Ron, there has to be another alternative.
I'm not even talking to you, Judas.
At times, he is shown as a senior, almost ready to graduate. In other episodes, he is suddenly a junior again, like he moved backwards. This makes it hard to know what year he is really in. It feels like he has been in college forever, never fully moving forward. This mistake makes the story confusing because viewers can't tell where he stands in his studies. Another strange thing is where Hillman College is located. The show often says it is in Virginia. However, the weather, people's accents, and cultural references sometimes feel like the college is much further south or closer to the Mid-Atlantic area. One episode might show cold weather like Virginia, while another looks hot and southern. This makes the setting unclear and leaves viewers wondering where the school really is. A big change in the show was when Maggie, played by Marisa Tomei, completely disappeared after the first season. She was an important character at first, appearing in many episodes and being close to the main cast. Then suddenly, she was gone without a single explanation in the story. The other characters never even mention her again, making her absence feel strange and unfinished. Another character, Stevie Rowlands, played by Loretta Devine, was also very important in the first season. She brought a lot of warmth and guidance to the students. However, after that season, she never returned. The show never explained why she left or where she went. It felt like a big part of the story was missing after her disappearance, leaving fans with unanswered questions.
Mom, you know what Dad's gonna do? He's gonna go down, he's gonna say like, one little scratch or wobble, and then he's gonna say no.
Lisa Bonet, who played Denise Huxtable, was one of the most popular faces on the show. She brought a cool and unique energy that many fans loved. But after just one season, she left, and people were shocked. The main reason behind her leaving was tension with the producers, especially Bill Cosby. Lisa was young, talented, and curious about exploring more adult roles, which clashed with the family-friendly image of the show. Her growing fame also played a part. She was becoming a big teen idol, and her career was moving fast in other directions. During this time, Lisa was offered a role in the movie Angel Heart.
Look, we don't go around murdering people, all right, Mr. Angel?
This film was very different from the clean image of the show because it had nudity and dark themes. Lisa wanted to make sure Bill Cosby knew about the role before she accepted it. She talked to him openly, and while he gave his blessing, he warned her that fame can fade quickly. He told her, "I know you kids can be erased just like that," meaning the entertainment world could be harsh. Even though he supported her choice, he decided not to watch Angel Heart because he felt it was not his kind of film. Things became more complicated when Lisa became pregnant with musician Lenny Kravitz's child. This created tension on set. Debbie Allen, the director of the spin-off A Different World, wanted to use Lisa's pregnancy as part of the storyline. She believed it could show a young woman balancing school and motherhood, which would have been powerful for viewers. However, Bill Cosby disagreed. He did not want the character of Denise to be seen as a young pregnant woman on a family show. Because of this, Lisa was not only removed from The Cosby Show, but also from A Different World.
I explained to him how I wanted to use it on the show, because that would be a great thing to see a girl who's upper class kid having a baby, not married because she didn't want to be married, and the girls could root for her.
Her sudden departure left fans and co-stars sad. Many felt the show missed a chance to tell a meaningful story about real-life struggles. After leaving, Lisa's life took many turns. Some say her choices and free spirit clashed with the strict control on the show. Others believe her relationship with Bill Cosby had become too strained to continue. Lenny Kravitz later shared that the connection between Lisa and Cosby became untenable, meaning it could not be repaired. Lisa Bonet's exit changed the tone of the show forever, leaving a gap that fans still talk about today.
The fall from grace of a living American legend 50 years in the making. Bill Cosby's alleged questionable behavior had gone largely
Bill Cosby played a big part in creating the original idea for the show. He was an executive producer and helped shape how the series looked and felt. Many people respected him at the time because he was already a famous comedian and actor. His name gave the show attention and helped it become popular in the beginning. People saw him as someone who understood family stories and good comedy. So his involvement made the show feel special when it first came out. Later, everything changed when many women came forward accusing Bill Cosby of sexual assault.
Bill Cosby is a serial rapist. I'm hopeful that his sentencing will reflect the magnitude of the damage and havoc that he's wreaked on the lives of many women.
These allegations shocked the world and made people look at his work in a different way. The same man who once represented family values was now linked to very serious crimes. This made fans feel confused and hurt. For some people, it became hard to enjoy the show knowing what he had been accused of. His name, which once brought pride to the show, started to bring controversy instead.
And he threatened me that if I called the police, that the minute that I come back from the police, he would go to the police and file a police report against me for false accusation.
This has made its legacy complicated. Some fans can separate the show from his actions, while others cannot. The story of the show now has two sides: the joy it gave to viewers and the sadness tied to the man who helped create it. His influence is still there, but it is now mixed with questions and debates about whether his work should still be celebrated after everything that has come out about him.
I looked at every episode and I also saw a lot of foolishness. You know, I'm all for laughter and buffoonery is okay, but to an end. What is it about? You know, we don't have time to do an episode at a black university where their assignment is to take care of an egg. No, we're dealing with serious issues out here.
When Debbie Allen became the leader of A Different World, she wanted the show to be more than just funny moments in a college setting. She wanted it to make people think. Under her direction, the show started to tackle tough subjects that were not often seen on sitcoms at the time. Some people loved it, while others thought a comedy show should not deal with such serious matters. But Debbie Allen believed that television could teach as well as entertain, and she was not afraid to address real-life problems that affected people every day. One of the most powerful episodes focused on AIDS and HIV. Back in the early 1990s, there was a lot of fear and confusion about the disease. Many people did not know how HIV was spread and believed myths that created panic. Some even thought you could catch it by hugging or kissing someone. NBC, the network that aired the show, was nervous about putting such a heavy topic on television. Some executives worried viewers would find it too dark for a sitcom. But Bill Cosby, who created the show, pushed for it to be aired. He believed it was important to tell the story. The episode finally aired in 1991 during the 4th season and was rated TVMA, which meant it was for mature audiences.
You would have thought we put Jesus Christ back on the cross. The way, advertisers pulled out.
In the story, a woman named Josie worries that her boss, Mr. Gaines, will fire her after he learns she is living with HIV. Instead of rejecting her, Mr. Gaines shows her kindness and compassion. This moment taught viewers two big lessons. First, it helped correct myths about HIV, showing that the disease cannot spread through simple contact. Second, it reminded everyone to show love and understanding to those who are sick. At a time when people with HIV were often treated badly and shunned, this episode sent a message that kindness and education were the most powerful tools against fear. Another episode that sparked a lot of conversations was about date rape. The episode, called No Means No, was shocking for many viewers because sitcoms rarely dealt with sexual assault.
You know that her mouth is saying no, but you're sure that there are parts of her saying yes.
In the story, the show challenged harmful ideas about consent. One of the characters, Garth, tried to excuse his behavior by saying that women really want sex, but act shy because society expects them to. He claimed it was a man's job to push them until they gave in. The show made it very clear this way of thinking was wrong and dangerous. It also showed the confusion and pain survivors often feel. Sometimes people blame themselves if they agreed to the date or other physical contact, thinking they somehow gave permission. The episode helped start conversations about how important consent is and reminded everyone that no is a full answer that must always be respected. For a sitcom to handle such a sensitive topic at that time was groundbreaking and showed that a different world was not afraid to use its platform to protect and educate.
What part do you listen to?
Her mouth. And then you go outside, take a swim in an unheated pool.
The show also touched on colorism, which is the unfair treatment of people based on how light or dark their skin is within the same race. This is a sensitive topic in many Black communities, and the show brought it into the open. By showing characters dealing with feelings of being treated differently because of their skin tone, the episode helped many viewers reflect on their own biases and experiences. It was one of those moments where a television show held up a mirror to society and encouraged people to think about how they treat each other. Another powerful story tackled apartheid in South Africa.
We're talking about lives, real lives, in the streets, and I was out there living it.
Apartheid was a system where Black and white people were forced to live separately, with Black South Africans facing terrible discrimination. In the episode, students at Hillman College discovered that one of their school's biggest donors, a company called Orange Glow, was investing money in South Africa. This caused a lot of debate on campus. Should the school accept money from a company that supported such injustice? Whitley Gilbert, one of the main characters, struggled to see why it was a big deal at first. But her boyfriend Julian was deeply involved in protesting apartheid and even suggested returning their scholarships to make a stand. This episode showed young people trying to do the right thing in a complicated world. It reminded viewers that even small actions, like refusing money from the wrong source, could make a difference in the fight for justice. The show also did not shy away from war and military service. An episode called War of the Words looked at the impact of war through the character Colonel Taylor, who shared his experiences from the Vietnam War. This episode aired during the time of the Gulf War, which made it even more emotional for viewers. Colonel Taylor's story showed the struggles soldiers face, especially Black veterans who often did not get the recognition they deserved. It also explored how serving in war can change a person's view of their country and government. Some viewers praised the show for showing the emotional side of military service. Others, especially those with loved ones in the military, felt the episode was too critical and came across as disrespectful to soldiers fighting in the Gulf War. The debate sparked by this episode proved that a different world was not afraid to make people talk and think about real issues. Also, after the first season, some people, especially those who had gone to HBCUs, said the show did not tell the full truth.
I looked at every episode and I also saw a lot of foolishness. You know, I'm all for laughter and buffoonery is okay, but to an end. What is it about? You know, we don't have time to do an episode at a Black university where their assignment is to take care of an egg. No, we're dealing with serious issues out here.
They felt it made college life look too perfect and left out many of the struggles that real students face every day. Many HBCU students work hard to pay for their education, deal with limited resources, and sometimes fight to stay in school. The first season only gave a light picture of these realities. To fix this, Debbie Allen, a graduate of Howard University, was asked to step in and change the show for the second season. Debbie had lived the HBCU experience herself, so she understood the challenges and the culture deeply. She wanted the show to feel real and connect with students who were actually living this life. She added storylines about financial struggles, family pressure, and even cultural identity. The characters became more relatable because they dealt with problems that real students understood, such as not being able to pay tuition or balancing school with personal issues. Debbie Allen's changes gave the show a stronger voice and made it more than just a comedy. It became a show that taught lessons and reflected real life. Not everyone liked these changes. Some of the original creators and producers wanted the show to stay lighthearted and fun. They worried that adding serious topics would make it less entertaining. There were debates behind the scenes, with some people resisting the new direction. But over time, the shift made the show more popular and respected. Viewers appreciated that it showed both the joy and the struggles of Black college life. It gave people a reason to talk about real issues while still enjoying the humor and friendships on screen. The show also took bold steps when it came to political and cultural topics. It was not afraid to speak out about racism, inequality, and problems within American society. One powerful episode called Mammy Dearest looked at how Black culture was often used and twisted for profit, losing its true meaning. Some people praised the episode for being brave, while others thought it was too direct for a sitcom. The show also addressed topics like apartheid in South Africa and the call for U.S. schools to stop investing money in companies that supported it. This was rare for a comedy show at the time, and it made A Different World stand out as more than just entertainment. It used its platform to make people think and have important conversations.